your right to know.
It's midday. Good afternoon. Here's the world news at a glance on Impact Business Radio, Ibr92.5FM. First, the headlines. World Health Organization expresses concern over tuberculosis response in Africa. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission releases former Anambra State Governor on bail. Obaseki says his administration is strengthening response to human trafficking and illegal migration. And on the foreign scene, Western leaders meet to discuss Ukraine support. Now the news in detail. I am Tuluwaleke Ali. The World Health Organization (WHO) has expressed concern that failure to invest in the response of tuberculosis will take a formidable toll on African countries. This follows reports that 36% of all tuberculosis deaths can be traced to Africa. The organization said that an increased investment can be a game changer and alleviates the preventable suffering and death of millions of people. Its regional director for Africa, Bishide Sumarti, said this in a message to commemorate the World Tuberculosis Day, which is observed on March 24 every year. She noted that the day is to raise public awareness and understanding about one of the global deadliest infectious diseases. She also revealed that the United Nations high-level world leaders have agreed to mobilize $13 billion per year to finance its prevention and treatment. The world leaders also promised another $2 billion per year for TB research in the face of growing concerns around drug-resistant tuberculosis. After about a week of detention and inquiry, the former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, has finally left the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Report has it that Obiano was released after he met the administrative bail conditions presented to him. The former governor's travel documents have also been withheld to stop him from leaving the country until investigation over his tenure is completed. It will be recalled that he was detained shortly after he handed over the reins of power to Governor Soludo last Thursday. The anti-graft agency wants the former governor to shed more light on how he spent the 42 billion naira public funds. A non-governmental organization, the Save Nigeria Movement, has warned the Middle Belt Youth Forum to stop finding fault with the work of the Department of State Services and press for good governance in their domain. At a news conference in Abuja today, the convener of the movement, Solomon Semakas, asked Middle Belt youths to prevail on their governors to pay their workers' salary and provide infrastructure and programs to promote the well-being of the citizens instead of dabbling into security issues. He made this known while reacting to a statement credited to the Middle Belt Youth Forum earlier this week, which called for the sack of the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Magaji-Bichi, for daring to raise alarm that some elements were plotting to incite ethno-religious crisis in the north. In the meantime, stakeholders have reacted to the renewed call for a third-party forced political party. In a chat with IBR's Ayodele Fakeye, they called for the emergence of a new political party which is driven by ideas and is people-oriented.
Nigeria's political sphere has once again come to the spotlight, just as dramatic events continue to unfold as the 2023 general elections draw nearer, with a renewed clamor for a third force political platform. Among many is a professor of political economy, Professor Pat Utomi, who said Nigeria needs a new political movement driven by ideas ahead of the 2023 general election, noting that the new political movement will be formed soon.
Look at where our country stands on every measure of performance. It's at the bottom. With the kind of talent we have, that's not acceptable. So we begin to think there's need to reassess, to ask ourselves, how can we get out of this pit that we seem to have somehow dug for ourselves? And one clear way to do is to have another party. The so-called major parties that exist presently are two sides of the same coin. So let's call that one party. It is meant for personal wranglings. If you are tired of what you've been given in this group, you move to the other group. If they don't treat you well personally, not about Nigeria, not about the future of the youth of Nigeria, you go to the other side to see if you can get something more. I think Nigerians have had enough of that. Then we need another real political movement driven by ideas.
Also reacting to the call for a third force, a professor of governance and public policy, Professor Remi Ayede, said the emergence of a third force seems like a mirage, as it usually comes before an electioneering period.
I think people should go and join PDP or join APC and see what changes they can bring about from within. If we are committed to a third force, then let the commitment be sustained. It shouldn't be when another round of general election is approaching, we start making noise about third force. APC, PDP have been built and sustained over time, and we must find ways and means of also spending our time and effort over a period of time in order to make an impact. If we think that at any time the general election is coming, that's when we come out and make some noise about the third force. We are not going to go anywhere. So I think if they are really serious about the third force, they should be thinking about 2027.
On his part, a public affairs analyst, Ibr92.5FM, said although Nigeria needs an alternative political party, its ideology must be totally different from the ideologies of the existing political parties.
Nigeria needs alternative political party. And what I mean by alternative political party, it is a party that is different in orientation, in philosophy, and political programs from all of the pro-capitalist political party we have across board today. Because I said we want to fool ourselves. All the party we have in the country today are capitalist political party, and it is on that basis that we see all of them to be one political party. And there's no way the interest of Nigerian students, the interest of Nigerian workers, the interest of Nigerian youth, the interest of Nigerian poor people can be met and satisfied by any government formed by any of these political parties.
As elections draw close, Nigerians no doubt deserve parties that are not only generating answers to the country's complex problems, but are also engaging its citizens about the best way forward. Ayodele Fakeye, Impact.
The governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, said his administration is strengthening the state's response to human trafficking and illegal migration. He spoke in Medellin City when he received the Italian ambassador to Nigeria, Stefano Dolio, in his office. The governor, who hailed the Italian government for their support, said the collaboration between Edo and Italy has translated into the huge success recorded in the fight against the scourge. He noted that his administration is currently working on a lot of initiatives with the federal government and Italian authorities in order to be able to significantly limit and reduce the incidence of irregular migration and human trafficking in Edo. On the foreign scene, the United States President Joe Biden has joined fellow Western leaders in Brussels today for 3 summits on Russia's war in Ukraine. This comes a month after the invasion began. NATO, the G7, and the EU are all holding meetings in a display of unity rarely seen by the West. Biden will take part in all 3, the first ever visit by a United States president to a European Union summit in Brussels. NATO's 30 presidents and prime ministers will agree greater support for Ukraine and new troop deployment for Eastern allies. Their aim is to show solidarity to Kiev. Now to end the news, another look at the major items. World Health Organization expresses concern over tuberculosis response in Africa. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission releases former Anambra State